Hi, it's Dwyer, gamblersadvisory.com, DwyerVIP.com for premium picks, Dwyer Boxing on Roku, private channel. Remember, the opinion you should follow should be your own. Just consider this video to be a second opinion from a complete stranger online. You know, I got up this morning and I was really more focused on Bernard Hopkins' win last night, as well as the Keith Thurman fight, Thurman's victory over Zavik last night. And reading the paper, it looks like this Paulie Malignaggi Adrien Broner fight is going to happen. This is a first impression video. I have not looked at a single second of fight footage with this fight in mind. But first impression, let me just say, I think the underdog, Paulie Malignaggi, beats Adrien Broner. I've been saying for a while here online that Adrien Broner's stance is too far apart. Broner doesn't move well enough. Malignaggi is exactly the kind of fighter who throws the kind of volume and who has the kind of movement to outpoint Adrien Broner, especially if the fight takes place in Malignaggi's backyard of Brooklyn, New York City. Right? Malignaggi is a showman in the ring. He's charismatic with the judges. He's going to be throwing that jab while he's predominantly a one-handed fighter. I don't think you should look at the weight class gap between these two. I don't think it's going to matter. Right? What you should do instead is think in terms of spacing and movement. Right? You need to ask yourself, how is Adrien Broner going to close the distance between himself and a circling Paulie Malignaggi? How is he going to get by Paulie Malignaggi's jab? I believe the operative fight here, and I haven't looked at it recently, would be the Daniel Ponce de Leon fight against Adrien Broner. Adrien Broner had problems in that fight. That's the closest Adrien Broner fight that I know of. And he had a problem because Ponce de Leon threw a lot of jabs. Now, Ponce de Leon is certainly a warrior, but he doesn't marry that jab with the movement that Paulie Malignaggi marries it with. And Malignaggi is accurate with that jab. Right? So Malignaggi has what I call a fast break game. I've been here online saying that I thought Miguel Vasquez, who also has a fast break game, beats Adrien Broner. I believe Malignaggi does. Vasquez is more two-handed than Malignaggi. But I have a very hard time seeing how Broner will be able to even get by the jab. The problem with the Adrien Broner Mayweather style is, quite frankly, and I mean current Mayweather, not young Mayweather, is that the fighters are too stationary. They don't move enough, right? And, you know, the guys who Broner has been fighting are guys like Tony DeMarco, who tried to bring the fight to Broner. Gavin Reese tried to bring the fight to Broner. What happens when an opponent forces Broner to try to bring the fight to them? I don't see it happening. Let me also point out, too, I know that Broner's people, according to BoxingScene.com, are pointing out that Broner has been sparring with middleweights. BFD. Big deal. Who cares about that? You're sparring with middleweights, great. Do they move like Paulie Malignaggi? Malignaggi's not going to come inside and impose his size on Adrien Broner. Right? This is a movement fight. It's a can you catch up with Malignaggi fight. And understand, when you look at Malignaggi's record, you're going to see that he has fought some guys who actually are very aggressive. Miguel Cotto, Juan Diaz, right? These are very aggressive guys with higher volume than Adrien Broner, right? And Malignaggi has beaten Diaz. He's gone the distance with Miguel Cotto, right? I know the Ricky Hatton fight was stopped. Understand Ricky Hatton moves a lot better than Adrien Broner. As for the Amir Khan fight Malignaggi had, understand that Khan has a certain height and length dynamic. Khan can hit you from way outside, right? That Adrien Broner doesn't have. And even that Khan fight made it to the later rounds of the fight. So, I don't know what conventional wisdom's going to say. I'm guessing Paulie Malignaggi is going to be a 3 or 4-1 underdog or what have you. I'm just here to say that Paulie Malignaggi is my pick to win this fight, right? I'll hedge it with Broner by KO. But quite frankly, I wonder how Broner is going to land on Malignaggi. If Broner, after a career spent being stationary, right? I know he moved a bit against Daniel Ponce de Leon. I know he can move, but against, most opponents, Broner is stationary with a wide stance and a raised shoulder, right? After a career being stationary, one wonders whether Broner could keep pace with Malignaggi over 12 rounds. I know Broner came forward on his front foot against Escovedo, right, and was able to close the show, but that was after several stationary rounds. If he's in the ring with a mover, right, if you're thinking Malignaggi, think Andre Durrell. If he's in the ring with a mover, will he be able to move for the 12 rounds? I think it's questionable. Let me also say this too. Malignaggi got a little bit reckless against Pablo Cano. People here online know that I consider Pablo Cano to be an underrated fighter. I thought that was a very spirited matchup, right? I believe Malignaggi is going to do better here than he did against Pablo Cano, right? I have a hard time believing Malignaggi's skills have slipped so much that he would win the title in Russia against the guy who would go on to beat Ricky Hatton, right? And then would suddenly be unable to perform in big high-profile fights. I think as you look at that Cano fight, understand that the Barclays Center had just opened, and Malignaggi was a little bit more aggressive than I believe he's going to be in this fight. I like Malignaggi's chances against Adrien Broner. I think that too many young fighters today are too stationary. I think that Adrien Broner has copied late Mayweather. Broner has never had the legs that young Mayweather had to back up this style. Without the kind of foot speed that young Mayweather had, I believe Broner is a sitting duck for Paulie Malignaggi. When the lines are released, take a hard look at Malignaggi. I think he's worth a look in this fight. Thanks for watching.